Welcome. This is Fan Day Radio, your passport to life as I live it. And I'm your host, Elizabeth Hall. I'm living, running, and podcasting here in my podcast studio in sunny Central Florida. And you can catch me over at lizforaday.com or on Facebook or Twitter. I will have all the mentioned links posted over at Liz for a Day. Now, I know many of you, my loyal fans, have been wondering where in the HE double hockey sticks has Liz been? And it seems like every time I do a podcast, I'm always trying to let my audience know what the heck happened to me because the podcast episodes are so far in between. Well, the last podcast episode actually wasn't recorded. I should say it was recorded all the way back in 2013 and now it's 2015. So that's a bit of a long stretch because I love podcasting. And to tell you the truth, I have still been podcasting. I've just been podcasting on a different show. And that is the Smart Social Media Notes show, which is actually done in conjunction with my business, which is Smart Office Help Social Media Agency. And I've mentioned that on a previous podcast as well. And one thing that I let happen to me that most entrepreneurs do is I pretty much just let myself go and just kind of immerse myself into my business, which is not a good thing to do. So it's not that I've been totally MIA. I've been, working on my business. I've been writing a book. I have been working on training courses, and also I've been, eating really bad, and I haven't been working out at all. Like every now and then I would start back up for a couple of days and I would stop. And so I really hadn't had anything that I wanted to share on Fan Day Radio. But now I am hopefully back up and running because I'm going to tell you from the beginning of the year, like every podcast that I listen to, just listening to the things that my friends say, listening to conversations, I just kept hearing the same thing. And that was that, most entrepreneurs do the same thing. They fall into the trap of just work. And then they never really take care of themselves. And for some reason, I just kept hearing this whole theme over again that you really have to take care of yourself. And then your business should be second. And so that's what I've been trying to do. I've kind of made a shift. I'm still working really hard on my business, still doing all those things that I mentioned, but I've kind of shifted a bit to kind of getting back to taking care of Liz. So, also, I went on a little bit of a trip a couple of weeks ago. I actually went to a surprise birthday party and it was awesome. I have some old Army buddies and these people were at the very first duty station that I was at back in Frankfurt, Germany. And I have a couple of those friends are in the Atlanta area, and then I have some that are up in the DC area. So my ultimate end was in DC. So I stopped in Atlanta, and me and my friend drove from Atlanta to DC. And yes, that's a long drive. It takes me about 7 hours to drive to Atlanta, which is not that bad. That's about my limit when it comes to driving someplace. And then we drove on up to the DC area. And we stayed there for the weekend, and there was a party. And while I was there, I was just discussing with one of my very best friends, that I want to get back into working out and everything. And somehow we got on the discussion about a trampoline or whatever. Anywho, fast forward to when I got back home. I got all the way back home, and I decided to go out and get me a trampoline. Now, I have all kinds of exercise equipment, so I'm like, I don't have a trampoline, so I want to try something new. And let me tell you, trampolines are a bit harder than you think that they would be. So I got the trampoline, and what I did was I just took a picture of me on the trampoline, and I sent it to two of my friends. One of them was in DC, and the other one was in North Carolina. And what kind of grew from that is every day I would take a picture or a video, and they would take a picture or video of them working out. So now we're kind of unofficially exercise buddies, which is nice because we motivate each other. And for me, it's motivating for me, and it's also kind of like a little bit competitive for me. Maybe not for them, but a little bit competitive because I want to do my best. And so I'm really motivated to get up in the morning and take my picture or video and say good morning to my friends and then send that to them. So that is really nice. I really like doing that. So that kind of got me up and going. But for 2015, I had, I really don't like making resolutions, but what I did was I decided that for 2015 it would be a year of challenges for me. And the first challenge was not fitness, of course. I decided to make monthly challenges for Liz, not for my business, but for Liz. Even sometimes, the business benefits, of course, well, all the time. But the first thing I wanted to do was to start reading more. And with that, I started reading I decided to read 10 pages of any book. And so I built a hashtag, which is read 10 a day. And that's READ, the number 10, ADAY. So that's hashtag read 10 a day. And it doesn't matter what kind of book I read, and I challenge you to come on board with me. And you can post on your social media outlets that you participate on. You can post that read 10 a day if you post like an image of something or a book that you're reading. And then I decided that after I get done reading, then I would just go ahead and do a book review for whatever book that I'm reading. So that's nice. So that was my challenge. So I've been doing that. Well, I did that for January. It's now February. And so for February, I hadn't really made a challenge, and I thought about it and I said, well, I think now is a good time to get back into fitness. And right now here in Florida, even though it's like the dead of winter and it's freezing cold for most people, this is like the perfect time to get outside and exercise for us Floridians because it is so darn hot. Well, make that not hot, it is smoldering hot in the summertime. Last summer was so darn hot. And so it's actually nice. And even though it's like around 40 or 50 degrees, 45 or 50 degrees in the morning, you can actually go out and exercise with the short sleeve shirt on because, you work up all that body heat. And so that's what I've been doing. I've actually just been getting out and working out outside, and I'm really enjoying it. And I've been walking in my neighborhood, and the thing about walking in my neighborhood, it's a bit inclining. And if you've heard any of the other podcasts that I have, I don't really enjoy inclininess, but it's a good workout. So I'm always happy once I'm done, let's put it that way. And so I've only been walking, and I may start running again. Well, actually, I will start running, and I don't know when I'm going to start doing that. It's just whenever I feel like it. But right now, I'm just trying to walk and just build things up again because, like I said, it's been a long time since I've done any meaningful calisthenics, so to speak, endurance type of exercise and fitness. So I'm just kind of working my way up, and I'm recording everything. I actually still have my Nike GPS watch, which I'm gonna have to do another review on that because I've had it for a long time, and I just love that piece of equipment. But I don't want to talk about equipment on this particular podcast. Also, along with the challenges, I think I'm going to start training for 5K. And really, for me, a 5K doesn't take much training. It's only 3 miles, and I almost do a 5K every day. I did like a 5K today. And so I don't know about that one. Like I said, I've been walking around in my neighborhood. I've been walking about 2.5 miles every day. And so today on Saturday, I decided to do something different. I decided to get in my car and go to like a really nice park where you can walk around a little lake that they have out there. And it's called Roost Park, if anybody stays in this area that's listening to this podcast. And it's really beautiful out there. And it's actually just a loop that you can go around, and it's a mile. If you go once, that's 1 mile. So I did like 3 loops, and so that was 3 miles for today. And I got out there right after daybreak. The first thing I did in the morning is I go to my telephone and I check my Weather Channel app to see what the weather is so I can know how to dress. And then also on that same app, it'll tell you like when the sun is going to come up. So most parks here, they're open once the sun comes up. So it came up at 7:10, and I left my house around 7:10. It takes about 20 minutes to get there. And of course, there's not that, well, there's more traffic than I thought, but there's not that much traffic to get there. So I got there and I did my loops, and it's really beautiful, and I have little ducks and cranes out there. And to my surprise, there were squirrels out there, and the squirrels they come so close to you. And I think if I would have been standing still, they would have just probably came and walked over my feet. So I'm sure people must be feeding the squirrels out there, and they're just like huge squirrels. If you ate squirrels, that would be a good place to hunt squirrels. Okay. Yes, I just did say that. And actually, I have had squirrel before. And no, I'm not from the country, but my dad is, and he used to hunt squirrels. And so I have had squirrel before. But I wasn't hunting squirrel. Never fear. I don't think you can hunt squirrel here, but there's a bunch of... Anyway, off of the squirrel kick. So for this week, I did... one of my goals also for the fitness is to just get out there to exercise at least 5 to 6 times a day, and I did that for this week. I did 6 walks, and it was an average of 2.6 miles for the week, and I did like a total of 15.7 miles, and that's awesome. 15 miles is a lot when I wasn't doing anything, so I'm pretty proud of myself when it comes to that. Of course. And then I'm going to just go ahead and end here. I just wanted to kind of get back into the groove of podcasting because I love podcasting. I do. And the more I do it, the better that I get at it. And again, I'm also podcasting on a social media podcast. And so if you want to check that one out, it's Smart Social Media Notes podcast. And that's hosted also by me. And you can actually subscribe to it on iTunes. You can subscribe to it on Stitcher if you have an Android smartphone, or you can listen on the website. So the website is smartofficehelp.com, and you can also get lots of business social media tips there as well. So come on over and listen to me podcast there, and I promise to be doing more personal podcasts over here on Fan Day Radio because I missed a lot. So let me just go over a couple of quick listener stats and summations for this week. And once again, I did like 15.7 miles for the week, which is awesome. I'm so proud of myself. And then also, I got a new gadget. My mom gave me a food meal because I love cooking also. And I tried the food meal this week, and it looks like a gadget that's going to be hard to put together, and maybe I'll do like a review and show you guys the food meal the next time I come on. But also, because if you're listening to this, you can also watch it on my YouTube channel also, which is Liz for a Day on YouTube. But I made a vegetarian shepherd's pie, and for the mashed potatoes piece, I used the food meal to make the mashed potatoes, which was super quick. It was super quick to make, super quick to put the food meal together, and super quick to clean. So I'm going to do probably a review on the food meal. And then what I listened to good this week is something I hadn't listened to a long time. It's actually a fitness podcast, which is Dirt Dog's Diet Tribe. And I love that podcast, and I'll have a link to it in the show notes also. And the guy that does this podcast, he's really laid back. It's an informal podcast. It's a running podcast, and he's a teacher and a principal, and you can just go over and listen to it. It's a great podcast. So that's it for today. I just wanted to say, once again, if I didn't already say it, make sure that you subscribe, and you can do that on iTunes or on Stitcher, or go over to lizforaday.com if you want to be notified when new shows are up. Also, please make sure that you leave a comment. You can leave that on the blog as well, or you can leave that on iTunes. I would greatly appreciate it. So with that, I just want to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet lotus blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.